Santa Claus. I don't really know the lyrics. Good morning, and welcome to my Tireside chat. Come on, Orino, I swear, at this moment, you mean everything. I will dress, I'll confess. Anyways, yes, good morning. It's nice to get into the car and hear a fun song like this. Dexy's Midnight Runners, For the Point. Yes, we just got back from our 7-day cruise to Mexico on the Princess Discovery. Man, it was pretty great. It was pretty great. Though I think, admittedly, I was ready to come home after 7 days. That's just the right amount of time on a cruise ship, I think. I mean, a lot of that depends. I think, the first cruise that I ever went on with my parents back in 2008 or so, where we flew to Rome and then did a few stops in the Mediterranean and then Bermuda and then back up to New York, and that was like 17 days. That one didn't really get old, because like we were always stopping at destinations that I was really interested to go to. You'd have a couple of days at sea here and there where you were just stuck on the cruise ship with 2,000 other people or 3,000 other people, or in this case like 4,000. The crowds get to be a bit much for me at times, but at least on those longer cruises like that, where you're going through Europe and a lot of really interesting cities that I'm really excited to get off and go see. It's a little bit different than just going to Mexico, which, nothing against Mexico. I guess if and these were, it was Cabo San Lucas, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta. I guess if I had planned it out more ahead of time, or really, which I didn't do, if I had spent more time looking into really cool things to go do and see in those cities, and then planned exactly how I was going to go about doing them, then maybe I would have had more of an interest in getting off the ship and going and doing those things and really seeing the cities. And do I regret that? Not really. I mean, you have, like, for Cabo, at least on this trip, we only had you got off of the ship, it docked, and we didn't get off the ship until like 1 p.m. The day we were there, and then we had to be back on board by like 8 p.m. So you didn't have, I guess that's a fair amount of time, but I'm not, Danielle and I are not the kind of people who like to go on vacation. Actually, we're pretty much anti-planning or scheduling an itinerary, unless there's something we really want to do. I don't normally like to go on vacation and say, okay, this day at this time we're going to go do this thing, and it's going to take 6 hours, and then we're going to come back, and then the next day we're going to go do this thing, and it's going to take, I don't know why we're so against that. It would have to be something that we really want to do. Normally, like, if we go out of town, if we go to San Francisco, or we go to Disneyland, or San Diego, or wherever, we'll kind of we like to just play it by ear. We're like, oh, you know what, while we're there, I'd like to go, it'd be cool to go do this, and this. And then while we're there, we just kind of like, oh, today, we've got all day today. what do you want to go do? Oh, let's go do that one thing, and then maybe we'll do the other thing after that if we have time. If not, we can do that tomorrow. And we just kind of fly by the seam of our pants, I guess. I like it that way. And so does she. And it's one of the reasons why we get along so well. All that to say, we didn't really do much at those stops. Was it my turn to go finally? Okay, good. Yeah, and I guess that's why people pay so much to go on the shore excursions that the cruise line provides, where they have designated tours lined up for people who pay for them. You wind up paying 2 or 3 times as much compared to, like, if you wanted to go, in Cabo San Lucas, so you want to go on a boat tour to go around the rocks on the outside or whatever. If you schedule that on the cruise line, it might be $150 a person, as opposed to when you show up there, you get off the boat, and there's dozens of people walking up to you trying to sell you that exact same thing, and it may only be $50 a person. Actually, that's pretty much what we saw. And that's not out of the ordinary at all for most of those ports. But the other thing that people don't like, including myself, is I feel sketchy about just some dude in Mexico coming up to me off the street saying, "Hey, you want to go on a boat ride? Give me some cash." Unless you're like with a group of like 4 or more adults. Like, I don't know, man. My ghetto side is like, I don't trust that shit. Even though it may be perfectly fine, I don't feel comfortable giving cash to some dude in Mexico and then getting on his boat. Just trusting that, this guy's fine. Because you never know. I know it's really, really unlikely, and usually, they do these things all the time. It's probably fine, but I just can't do it. We also had, and Cabo San Lucas was the worst, as far as getting heckled goes. As soon as you get off the boat, and we just thought, Danielle and I, so let me back up a bit. So Dean actually got off with my mom and Roy before we did, because we were back at the room. We were tired and we were taking a nap or something, and just for like an hour, because we had a busy morning on the ship. And so Dean went with my mom and Roy. They went on one of those boat rides, the 3 of them, which we didn't know until they got back. And Dean called me, and that was fine. I think they paid. Oh yeah, what did she say? I think actually my mom said she paid like $75 for the 3 of them. But it was just a quick little boat ride. I think maybe it took them. They were gone for like 30 minutes or something. Anyways, we got off the boat, and you get off at the port, and Danielle and I thought, well, let's just walk. We'll just walk a ways and see what there is. Go explore. Something I don't really like to do. And we thought we walked. I think it was a good 1.5 miles all the way back to where there's this shopping mall. And I kid you not, we probably walked past 50 or so people trying to sell us a boat tour or jewelry, or one guy tried to sell me some cocaine. I'm not kidding. This coked out looking dude walks up to me, "Hey man, we'll do some coca. Go in the bathroom and do some coca." It's like, no gracias. Even if I was into doing coke still, or ever, how dumb would that be? Some random dude on the streets of Cabo San Lucas walks up to you and says, "Let's go do some cocaine in the bathroom." Bad idea. horrendously bad idea. I mean, it was bad enough. We got to that mall. That mall wasn't too bad. It's man. It's just interesting to go see these places and realize. You know, Dean said this to us. You know, as we were coming back, or multiple times, that it's like, wow, Dad. You know, it really makes you appreciate how nice your city is when you come back to it. After going to Mexico and seeing like the Walmart there and like how dirty it is and run down and there's trash everywhere and the bathrooms smell like methane and are absolutely disgusting. And it's yeah, well, it is a good thing in that it makes you appreciate what we have here in this instance. On the flip side of that, if we were to go to Barcelona or I don't know, probably like Bangkok or other certain cities, like more modern cities that have, I mean, big first world cities that have like really rich. Again, I'm not putting down Cabo San Lucas, Mazatlan, or Puerto Vallarta. They have some very beautiful aspects to them, some wonderful people, but and of course what we saw is just a very limited scope of what the cities are as a whole, I'm sure. But going to like London and then coming back to Fresno, you're like, man, Fresno kind of sucks, by comparison. But it does. You come back and you see your city with new eyes, no matter where you're traveling. Anyhow, we got heckled by 50 different people in Cabo San Lucas, and Mazatlan wasn't nearly as bad. Puerto Vallarta wasn't nearly as bad. Mazatlan was actually one of the better ones. It was probably as far as that goes. Mazatlan, you get off the ship and then you just have to take a little short. Oh my God, let me see if I can get over here. I'm trying to get off them, right? Yeah. Excuse me. They have like this little tram that gets pulled by a golf cart. Really, I wouldn't even call it a tram. It's a metal gymnastics set with seats, basically, that gets pulled by a golf cart, and they bring you over to hello. They bring you over to the Traveler Visitor Center, and then there's like this cute little indoor/outdoor mall with a bunch of little shops, and of course the pharmacy. We bought some amoxicillin while we were there, and a few other things that we needed. It was nice. It was like, oh, I think I've got an infection. I need to see a doctor so I can get a prescription. No, you don't. You just get off the boat and go walk down there. You can get a bottle of 60 amoxicillin for like $18. And so I've got a couple of those at the house now, just in case. You never know when you need them. They don't expire for a couple of years, so it's good to have. Anyways, so you get off there in Mazatlan, and yeah, they have the shops in there, and then you walk out past that towards the first city street, and there's people out there saying, hey, you want a taxi? Hey, you want to go see these sites? You want to go see these sites? But they weren't super aggressive. The ones in Cabo were a bit more aggressive, and a couple of them, my mom said, like, yeah, they were like getting heckled almost, where you say like, oh, no gracias, and they'd be like, man, why not? Like, but Mazatlan, and then we actually had there was an older gentleman in that group of people who were, pitching tours and things, who walked up to him because Danielle stopped to get a massage, and I got so much to talk about here. Danielle and I'm almost to work. Danielle stopped to get a massage. The massages on the ship, by the way, we looked at, maybe we'll get a couples massage. We did that, I think, last year or the year before when we went on a Carnival cruise. And the couples massage, like, you expect it to be 50% more than what you would pay on land. And you're like, okay, if we're on vacation, we're gonna spoil ourselves, fine, I'll spend the money. But so like for, I think like the last one we did on Carnival, maybe for two of us for an hour, it was like $300. It's just, that's not unheard of. Whereas like, yeah, if we did that here, it may be like $200. They wanted $600 for a couples massage, and it was like, wow, that's absolutely absurd. We're not doing that. But you get off the boat at either Mazatlan or Puerto Vallarta, and it's like as soon as you walk off, they have masseuse there, multiple massage therapists who they charge you was like $30 for a back and neck massage. 30 or no, I think it was the full body massage. $40 max for the same thing, like 10% of the price. I digress. So getting off on Mazatlan, there was an older gentleman. Hello, do you want to just run right into me? There was an older gentleman who actually stopped and was like, explained to us, me and Dean, oh hey, do you want to? So you see this this road right here? There's this blue line. You can actually walk along that, and if you follow it, it takes you through kind of an older residential neighborhood. And then if you keep going, you'll get to the cathedral at the middle of town, the kind of a downtown area. There's a little cute shopping district, and then you can keep walking from there, and you just go a few more blocks, and there's a beach on the other side. And he actually stopped and just explained that to us. Wasn't asking for anything. So of course I gave him $5, just for being cool. Which, yeah, that's another thing. When I went on the trip, I reached into. I brought this one sweater, this green hoodie that I really like, and I reached in my pocket and I was like, "What the hell's that?" Oh man, look, 4 $50 bills. I got my tip money for the trip, pretty much. My extra tip money, because when you go on a vacation like that, the proper thing to do is to always be prepared to tip everybody. Even though, yeah, there's like built-in tips into the cruise itself. That's like winds up being, 10% of the cost, thereabouts, 10-15%. But I think it's customary. I like to, anyways. If a lot of those people really go above and beyond, and they work really hard, and it's nice to, there's all people from, the Philippines and Malaysia and other, I don't say third world countries, but what have you. But it's nice that here we are. We've got all this money, Americans that are fairly well off compared to them. And they work really hard for what they do, and it's nice to be able to, give them a little bit extra. They deserve it. So, anyways, well, I'm at work now, so I got to cut this off. There's a lot more I could talk about. Back to reality. It's Monday. My boss, Doug, who probably isn't really going to be my boss so much anymore. We're kind of already transitioning to our new roles this year, and looks like they interviewed my potential new hire last week while I was gone. Our CFO, Adam, and Doug interviewed her here at the office and gave her a tour, and it sounds like we're moving ahead with that. Hopefully there's an offer letter here soon. So that's exciting. I'm going to have a new network administrator working for me, helping out with things. We've got a lot of projects and upcoming work this year. Improvements to the network and functionality, and computer upgrades for all of our engineering staff and everyone else. So I'm looking forward to bringing someone else on board and getting some of that stuff done. So yeah, I'm just getting back into switching hats. I'm switching hats from vacation mode to work mode. As my old professor, Dr. Ramsey, good old Doc Ramsey. Well, it took me a second to remember his name. I hadn't thought about him in a while. Good old Doc Ramsey used to say that all the time. We'd go from, well, 'cause I took Visual Basic programming from him, and then physics. He also taught electronics and a couple different math classes. The guy was like super genius. I only took those 2 classes from him, but we'd have our VB class, and then immediately afterwards we'd walk down the hall to the other classroom to go take physics, and we'd finish VB and he'd be like, "Okay, everybody, time to switch hats." Every day, that's what it is. Time to switch hats. I mean, I know it's a common expression, but of course, it always makes me think of him. Which I like to think I was his Marty McFly to his Doc Brown. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna sign off now. Have a good one.